There's more to life than basketball, and D. Lee's journey to get back on the court is the perfect reminder of that. So on day 7 of our season previews today, while we'll still be talking about D. Lee's game, we'd be doing him a disservice if we didn't also talk about his journey back to basketball, overcoming injury and adversity, and what it means to him and hopefully Suns fans to see him back on the court. On the court, there's no doubt that the biggest thing that Damion Lee can provide this Suns team is three-point shooting. The last time we saw D. Lee, he averaged 8.2 points per game and shot a career-high 44.5% from 3, which ranked 3rd in the NBA that year. He only took 3.3 attempts per game, but he was an indispensable part of the bench rotation for the first half of the season, forcing opponents to drastically change how they covered him. The reason is D. Lee shot a blistering 47% on catch-and-shoot threes, 40% on above-the-break threes, 51% on corner threes, and 51% on wide-open threes. He also shot a blistering 52% from downtown in the fourth quarter, the second best percentage among all 211 players with at least 40 such attempts. That probably could have helped the league's worst fourth quarter team from last year.
We saw the numbers from the last season that I played, and for me, it's not looking at those numbers and not holding myself to that standard, but just holding myself to be the best that I can be now. Like I said, I've made some tweaks, throughout the summer of my game, the things that I can do offensively and defensively, and just knowing I confidently believe that I can shoot the basketball with some of the best players in the world.
According to the B-Ball Index, Lee ranked in the 87th percentile in openness rating and the 97th percentile in three-point shot quality before the Suns went out and added Kevin Durant and then Bradley Beal a few months later. Anytime he's sharing the court with 2 or 3 of Phoenix's stars, he can provide plenty of gravity as a sniper who ranked in the 94th percentile in points per possession on spot-up looks. His release is quick, decisive, and true. According to NBA.com, a staggering 231 of his 247 attempts last season came on 0 dribbles, and 237 of his 247 attempts came on touches lasting less than 2 seconds. All of that can help a team that wants to take more threes this year, but Lee understands it'll be a process.
I don't anticipate or expect myself to come out early in the season and play 30 minutes a game. I know what I do, I know what my role is, and when the time comes for me to be out there and contribute, then I will, and I'll try to do it to the best of my abilities. I think luckily, I was able, a bright side of being out last year is just being able to study the game and study myself and see where I can have improvement.
So what are these tweaks? D. Lee wouldn't give away his secrets, but one thing we did see developing midway through his last season was his floater. Like quite a few players on this Suns team, Lee has an underrated float game, which was useful when opponents started frantically running him off the three-point line because he was shooting so well. Lee shot 51% on floaters that season, and it was the perfect way to bridge the gap between aggressive closeouts and trying to finish over taller, more athletic rim protectors at the basket. But as we promised, this season preview would be incomplete without acknowledging Lee's resilience in getting back to the court. This Thursday will mark 1 year to the day since he came out of surgery. He initially went in for a meniscus repair, only to find out that there was some root damage that would require a root repair, which is a much more serious procedure. He also came to find out that both roots were off, which would require a double root posterior surgery, which is a very rare type of surgery. At Media Day, he was candid about how this affected his mental health and how he even questioned whether that might be it for his career.
It was an uphill battle for a while, fighting depression, going to see a therapist. Just didn't know if I was going to be the same person again, let alone the same player.
For a guy who's dealt with so many injuries in his career before even making it to the NBA as an undrafted player, it took a lot for Lee to battle through this latest rehab process.
I've been through some shit. I've torn both my ACLs before. I've had foot procedure. I broke my hand twice, all before playing in the NBA. I've been through it, and I'm still standing tall. And that's perseverance, that's resilience, that's faith, that's believing that it's possible.
Suns fans were naturally curious about Damion Lee's recovery timeline last season, but a portion of the fan base crossed the line in terms of demanding answers about when he would be back. To put it in perspective, Lee said that he would have needed a knee replacement in 3 to 4 years if he hadn't had the surgery. Fortunately, being in Paris to watch the Olympics gave Lee some positive perspective about his impact. Lee said at least 10 people came up to him in Europe every single day wishing him well, saying they missed watching him play, and telling him they remembered his game winner on opening night in Phoenix against the Dallas Mavericks. For D. Lee, it was a reminder of the human element that can so often get lost in the equation, especially here in the US.
That sparked another thing of like understanding what my impact is. Because sure, in the States, you know, it's what have you done for me lately? You make a shot, you go 4 for 9, you're the greatest shooter ever. You go 2 for 10, you suck. We want to trade you. The fans, the people on social media want to trade you. But like, where's the human interaction? Where's like the understanding of what it took to get to where you are? I heard there's a lyric, Big Sean said it. It was like, people talk down on us that never got up here. And it's like, that's where American society is. And it's just the reality.
Lee's faith and support system were crucial in helping him get through some of that negativity and self-doubt. Lee's children and his wife, who through the course of her college volleyball career suffered 5 concussions, were completely understanding and supportive and were critical in helping him get through that, but so too were the people in the Suns building. Lee said everyone from Josh Bartelstein to Matt Ishbia to James Jones to the training staff and coaches were constantly checking in on him to see how he was doing physically, mentally, and emotionally. And when D. Lee finally did get back on the court for that first day of training camp, his teammates handled it perfectly.
I'd say that's probably the biggest thing. Is like even my teammates, like I had like 2 dunks today, and guys were like, "Oh man, we might need to stop practice. D. Lee just dunked. What's happening?" So, you know, guys just kind of just being fun and, you know, just making jokes, but just keeping it light.
Last week's training camp was a full circle moment for D. Lee, who said he had butterflies and jitters, even going through stretches before the practice even started. It was a testament to the fact that he believes he belongs in this league and all the hard work that went in behind the scenes to prepare him for that very moment.
My favorite quotes, my college coach, Bruiser Flint, would say every year. It was on the wall. I got it tatted on my arm. It says, "The pressure is not to perform, the pressure is to prepare." And that thing's like stuck with me. It's like, no matter what happens out there, the lights shine bright, all this shit, it's great, it's cool. But like, it's what's done in the dark. If you make sure everything that you do when the lights aren't showing, your family life, everything's good at home, everything's good, then like, when that moment comes and you get the interview and you get all the praise and the glory, it wasn't that shot that made it. It was everything that was done beforehand, that preparation that allowed you to get there.
Will D. Lee carve out a role for himself this season? It's difficult to envision, especially since the Suns are so overloaded with traditional 2s between Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen, Josh Okogie, and Damion Lee. But no matter how many minutes he plays or how many 3s he hits, it'll just be nice to see someone who works so hard and who brings such a positive, bigger than basketball perspective get back on the court again and get to do the thing he loves.
He's been great, and he really had a great September. So it's been fun to watch him play. I think some of the things that he does naturally or that, play to his strengths are things that we're trying to do. So I think a lot of it's come, just naturally to him.
It's something about a guy's character who continues to come to work every day when, some stuff like that, injuries are out of your control, so he's a diligent worker. He wants to be great. He's a great teammate, first of all, but once he gets on the court, he's a fierce competitor, and I just love being around him.
Thanks for watching today's Suns season preview. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to PHNX Sports on YouTube, listen to the PHNX Suns podcast every day at 3 p.m. Go check out my written previews over at gophnx.com, and check back here tomorrow for our next Suns season preview on Josh Okogie.